This conference will now be recorded.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amendments to the meeting, I think we have one, Brian.
Yep, we have one amendment. I believe on the agendas, I had the accounts payable listed as 318. It should be 48.
So make that change. Adoption, I need a motion to adopt the agenda with that change. All in favor? Opposed? Passes 5-0-0. Minutes from the regular meeting as March 18th.
Make a motion to approve the March 18th meeting minutes as written.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0-0. Accounts payable, Mr. Krieger.
The only thing that really stuck out was the $75,799 for Bergerson Casewell Inc. for the repair on the one well pump for $26,175. Everything else, I believe, seemed pretty standard. I make a motion to approve the minutes for the accounts payable for $75,994.92.
Any questions for Bob? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0-0. Thanks, Bob. Public comments. I believe we have one written in.
We did. We had one public comment from Billy Wendt here from Zimbrota, and I'll just read what he wrote. I have crossed Main Street several times, and I've seen that that cars do not stop for me in the crosswalk. It's very dangerous and very concerning, not only for myself, but for people that live in the towns or live in the town. I have talked with the police department and told them my concerns, and nothing has been done. I'm very disappointed in the way the city is handling the situation. I'm asking that a cop car or county car be parked on the corner of Main Street so people can cross safely in the crosswalk. That's the one public comment.
Yeah, it's a concern, but I don't know how to alleviate it. Other than we're looking into lowering the speed limit maybe, but.
Right, yep. Yeah, 30 is too fast there. I always slow down to 20. 20 feels too fast through there. I think we did hear that one of the lights was being worked on.
No, that was a different one.
That was a different light?
That was a different intersection, I
That
believe.
one button on that side has got to get worked on. That's on the Edward Jones side. The rest of them work, but
But they don't stop anyway.
they don't, and I still notice a lot of people that don't even stop to push the button either. And I don't know how else we can get them to use that button to push it.
Well, would it also help to explore putting another set back to back this time on the end of that block?
No,
The other way, third? So it may have to,
Maybe a person thinks about moving that one down to second.
well, and I think the hard thing with, and this is what I've always expressed with that, with where that is that the lights are at opposite corners. They're not across from each other. So they're diagonally across, right? So one's on the southeast and one's on the northwest, whatever. That's always been the issue because you can't see that one.
We're starting to discuss this with the move of the pizza cabinet, is that correct? That intersection maybe become very busy there. Maybe we want to consider putting something there. I don't know how, I just think that intersection will become very busy now with the pizza cabinet there across the street.
The apartments too.
And the apartment, yeah.
Well, we got that city parking lot across the corner, which will be used at the new restaurant. I mean, we talked about that
But I
earlier.
mean, I think it's just something to consider.
Sure.
Get into that more, maybe we look at that as time goes on here and see what happens with that.
So Todd, maybe there's an agenda item for a work session in the future to discuss safe crossing of downtown and speed limits. I mean, I know that there's other communities in, the metropolitan area that have gone down to a 25 mile an hour.
We heard what
Rochester's
They're
doing
going
Did they?
25 that fast.
Well, and I had never seen that. Other, like Wisconsin towns are all like that, but I hadn't ever seen that. And I thought we had done something with MnDOT and we couldn't because it was a state highway, but I think that there's some precedents out there now.
PennDOT has, when you start, then it involves that study and stuff. And I've heard some bad things come out of that study at different times, but I can't imagine that they wouldn't at least consider that,
Mhm.
But and then again, you've done your own studies here too, and on your own kind of that. I don't know how MnDOT would react to that, I guess.
Sure. So maybe something that we can discuss further in the meeting.
Sounds good. No public hearings, unfinished business. New business, 8A, adoption of certificate of water supply plan. Mr. Olson.
This is the first step of, eventually we got to get to an ordinance after this within 6 months, I believe. But the first step was to fill out the application for this certificate of adoption, and that was supplying the DNR a lot of information. Just a couple highlighted areas for that was, and something that would be new to us is they're looking at hourly readings using a logger in the well houses. And that was one of their comments in there. I'm not sure how that works. Right now, we do daily readings, but that's just of the gallons. That was on page 3. I had a couple more comments. So then that was the next thing of what I just mentioned was the DNR looks forward to receiving the critical water deficiency ordinance. That'll be the next step after this adoption plan is put in place. And I discussed this with Kim a little bit, but also that the city have 2 rate blocks for charging of water, which we do. And they talked about maybe even increasing the conservation water rates to be increased to encourage water conservation. So that's something I guess we were going to look into a little bit and discuss. Otherwise, we just look for approval on the certificate of adoption for the water supply plan.
Thanks, Mike. Any questions for Mike?
Motion? Make a motion to approve the certificate of adoption water supply plan.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0-0. Thanks, Mike. 8B, the 2021 mill overlay project. Mike again.
This year, I got some of the streets of Dorothea Drive, Judith Court, and then a section of the Sugarloaf Parkway, which would be the first 2 sections, which was around 1,100 some feet. That total quote from Sand and Gravel is $235,506, less $15,465. That would be the Mineola Township's portion of that section. So we're split out with the township, but the first section was completely the city's, which was 660 feet. The next section was 500 and some feet, and that was be a split. The south half being the townships and the north half being the cities. And both of them sections are pretty tough shape. And I have the copy of the quotes. The other quote was from Elcor. And we have an agreement with the township in writing that they'll pay for their portion of the pavement.
Thanks, Mike. Any questions for Mike?
There's part of your overlay plan that's laid out for the next several years. I make a motion to
Need a motion?
approve the 2021 Mill and Overlay Project plan. What do we have here? Just
All in
asleep?
favor?
I
Aye.
Opposed?
think we do all the work tonight.
Again.
500. Thanks, Mike. 8C, State of Minnesota Joint Powers Agreement Renewal Ordinance. Attorney and PD. Let's start with Brian.
Yep, this is, we do this every 5 years. It's just updating the joint powers agreement and the court amendment. The resolution designates the county attorney, Stephen O'Keefe, or his successor as our prosecuting attorney. Again, like I said, this is done every 5 years. So this is just the update for the next 5 years.
I'll make a motion to renew the State of Minnesota Joint Powers Agreement Renewal Ordinance.
Any further discussions? All in favor? Opposed? Passes 500. Thanks, Brian. 8D, update on school resource officer contract. Pat.
Well, we submitted some information to the school board in regards to our contract renewal, which is up this year. They had a discussion at their last school board meeting. I did attend that. I wasn't able to be part of that conversation. I kind of wish I did have that opportunity. But at this point, they tabled the matter till this upcoming meeting on the 12th for their regular board meeting. We're kind of getting an inkling that they're not interested in entertaining continuing on with another contract. But we do have a meeting set up with the superintendent also on Monday morning to kind of discuss the contract and if there's something here that we could be doing. But at this point, I don't have anything further, but that's kind of what the status of that is at this point.
We gave them the numbers that we had discussed in the, was that a work session or other meeting? So we passed those along, expressed the interest of staying with the 5149 because we feel it's very important to have an SRO in the school, have an officer in the school. And they took that into consideration, or well, they really didn't. They tabled that part of it. They made another hire during that meeting of I can't remember what the position was called, but it's an equity coordinator or something like that. So, so we're not quite sure, but we'll talk to Mr. Harvey on Monday morning and see what the thoughts are and move forward from there.
Are you on the school board agenda to talk about this?
We are not, but they'll take comments. You know, there'll be open time for public comments in their agenda. So, and we'll talk to Mike too. If he can probably add us on there to the agenda.
I think that would probably be good.
Okay.
So I guess we don't need a motion for that, right? That was just an update.
Thanks, Chief.
Perfect. Thanks, Pat. Report. Brian.
Yes. Had a meeting with the Goodhue County area city managers, hosted by Scott Arneson. Great meeting. It was fun to talk to everybody. And we had lots of discussion around the latest coronavirus rescue funding that they're sending out. The county is putting together some ideas for partnering with communities on some initiatives. They're going to try to continue the building permit reimbursement initiative. They're looking at maybe doing some partnering to encourage maybe in-home daycares or a daycare center, however that might shake out, but that's just brainstorming. Also partnering, looking at some money for difficult lots or kind of to stimulate home starts, where if there's a difficult area and that may not otherwise be developed, we could maybe put some money towards that to get some homes going there, stimulate the home starts. So those are just brainstorming right now. The commissioners have not approved anything, mostly because there's no guidance yet. We're waiting on guidance yet on how we can spend the dollars. The city of Zimbrota will receive in the neighborhood of $400,000. And we are going to start talking about ideas we may have soon here. Again, we're hoping to get guidance. I think guidance was supposed to come out within 60 days, or payments were supposed to start within 60 days of approving the bill. So we're assuming the guidance will come with that, or hopefully a little before we get, the payments. The payments will be done in 2 parts, this June and then the next June. We'll have till 2024 to spend the money. So they extended it out so it won't be such a mad dash. We could put more thought into it and really make it go to the best places. And again, we'll have a lot of discussions, maybe put together a little committee to discuss best uses of those dollars. We are honored to host the TZD, the Towards Zero Deaths annual photo this year out here at the covered bridge. We'll be looking at setting up a whole bunch of emergency vehicles down in the grass with the bridge in the background and Mayo 1 hovering above. So that should be pretty cool. We just have to hope for not any flooding on May 24th or much rain, because we
Boat.
otherwise, the backup plan would be to set up here, or maybe out at the fire hall, behind the fire hall, and then they can put pictures, community pictures in. But we're hoping we can do it down there in the grass. Bonding. It'll be a busy meeting for bonding at the next meeting, the April 22nd meeting. We're going to be asked to approve the resolutions specifying the final terms of the bonding, and then we'll be awarding bonds to the winning bidder. And then the dollars should be available around May 13th, May 15th, right in there. So, and yes, we've got the tax. The Board of Equalization meeting at 5 p.m. For the next meeting, April 22nd. So, and yeah, the county will be running that. It'll be an open book is what they call it. The county will have complete control of that meeting. They may ask us some questions, but it's the county's meeting at that point. So.
Perfect.
It's really always been the county's meeting. We just typically sit here.
Sounds good. Thanks, Brian. Chief?
Not a whole lot to add. I just wanted to let you know that our 2 newest officers have both completed DMT training, as well as one of them is completely phlebotomy certified in regards to that phlebotomy training that you guys approved a little while back. And Officer Wallerick is getting prepared for the upcoming training that will be very beneficial to our community in regards to drug impaired driving. So, but all in all, it's been quite a busy couple of weeks here, a lot of unusual calls, but so far so good.
He stands for?
Well, that's the alcohol breath testing system we use.
Oh, got it.
So that's
Awesome.
just the brand name of it.
Okay. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Mr. Rock.
Siege property, had a minor zinger thrown back in my face by the judge. I'll back up to a little history. There was kind of 2 parallel courses. There was county attorney on a criminal side, and then we're doing the administrative side, the cleanup side. County attorney's office kind of had it on put it on their front burner a couple months ago. So it was like, okay, we'll see how far they can get with it. And then we also did the snow note, which is, anyway, it was March 23rd, Jessica Perkins emailed the chief that said, not getting anywhere. So go ahead and file your administrative warrant. So the chief and I revised an affidavit, attached photos, got everything filed by March 30th for this administrative warrant, which I was expecting a judge would sign within a day or 2. And then once we got that, then either we'd have to look at hiring somebody or city staff or whoever would be able to enter the property and start with the cleanup. Well, the judge's clerk called me this week and said, no, the judge wants you to, isn't going to sign the administrative warrant. He wants me to convert it to a motion hearing, which isn't a big deal. It's just I got to retool the documents a little bit, refile it as a motion, and then if I file it as a default motion, there's at least going to be a 14-day waiting period before the hearing. So that's going to add more time. I'm sure some or all of you, and I know staff has been receiving some heat about it, but there's nothing I can do. I learned a long time ago to not get into an argument with a judge. But anyway, if you're catching flack for static, just blame it on me. Reflect it all on me. That's the best I can do right now.
Sounds good. Thanks, man. Kim?
I just wanted to remind you that we will be having auditors in the office on April 19th for the week. So they will interview, I'm sure, the mayor and probably a council member. So if they haven't interviewed you before, they'll probably want to interview you. Probably not you yet, Bob, because you haven't been on for the full year, but maybe Chris. And also in line with the bond thing, Brian and I got to have an hour-long meeting with Standard & Poor's this week for bond rating. So we will be receiving that rating tomorrow, Brian, is it?
Yep, tomorrow.
So it went well. We had to be it was definitely putting us through our paces, wasn't it? It was like a 7-page questionnaire we had to have filled out for him, so.
And Kim did great. She had everything nailed down and went right through, so.
It went well, I thought. They were very nice. We met with 2 analysts, and then Rebecca was on the line with us too, so. Or no, she wasn't on that one, but we did fine.
Thanks, Kim. Mr. Dillon?
I'd like to report that we've begun receiving the visitors guide, the Zambrota's visitors guide this week, to the tune of 10,000 of them. So I've kindly placed some outside the hall if you guys would like to grab one or more on the way out. Otherwise, yeah, one more boxes, 180 per box. But a lot of visitors guides, so that's the biggest thing so far the report this week. And reach out if you know anybody who wants some, and we can coordinate getting it to them.
Well, I think that through Explore Minnesota, they're supposed to give you spots to put them.
1,500, yep, but I have 10,000, so I gotta bridge the gap.
I think Dave has been going around town bringing them to, maybe Pete too, bringing them to businesses as well, so.
Dave is,
You want them outside of town too. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and I think, sorry to step on you, Dylan. I think Ryan, what he had discussed was kind of a grab a handful if you're going somewhere and drop them in a store, drop them in a rack. If you're going to Wisconsin, if you're going to wherever you're going, take some with you and get them out there.
It'd be nice to get them in the clinic.
Who goes to work anymore?
Do you have to get approval or can you just leave them or, do you know?
They're not usually in the clinic, they're usually in the Skyways.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of people that go through there. So.
We can take a field trip down to Rochester.
Field trip to Decorah, take some down there.
We will take some down there as well.
well, if any of you guys know any type of opportunity, feel free to call or email me, and then I can coordinate getting it there or whatnot, but there's a lot of them.
It's like everyone take a box, put it in your trunk.
Perfect. Anything else, Dylan?
Nope, that's it.
Thanks, sir. Mike?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
I don't think James is here, correct?
Nope, not with us tonight.
Okay, one quick thing that I have a press call tomorrow with Representative Angie Craig, the mayor of Burnsville, and the mayor of Wabasha, discussing the American Rescue Plan that Angie Craig and her assistant Morris had reached out to me a couple weeks ago and wanted to know if I wanted to be a part of this press call, and I said, of course. So we're going to just discuss the American Rescue Plan for about 45 minutes, and I guess there's going to be press and questions and answers afterwards. So that's tomorrow morning at 9:30.
Is it live?
I believe it is live. It's via Zoom. Yeah, Zoom link. So that's all I have. Councilor Durham.
Nothing, thank you.
Hastiger? Or that? Mr. Prigi? Meeting's adjourned.
He has to.
Gonna make up for the